You gonna listen to me this time?
Where am I?
You're in my apartment.
Look at these bags. Look at these bags in my eyes. This is from binging and snacking constantly. That is what we have done.
Netflix, what are you doing to us?
Well, you know, I've been binging a lot lately.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're talking about Daredevil right now. Daredevil is a very interesting type of show to watch, especially when you're binging, especially this show, because it was violent.
It's like going to medical school, this show, isn't it?
I got
And
a
as
little-
bad as we look from binging this thing,
Yeah.
we don't look anywhere as bad as Charlie Cox does as Matt Murdock. He gets the S beat out of him in this show. At one point, he battles this ninja guy, and he has got blades cutting into him and slicing his body up, and you can see like guts are starting to like hang, and it, like the knife sticks into him, and the ninja guy starts pulling him and dragging him with the chain. It was so visceral and unbelievable, and the fight sequences in this thing are just outstanding.
The fight sequences are good.
Yes.
What the hell?
I'll get this into the right hands.
No, you can't. You can't take it to the police. You can't trust anyone.
Then we tell everyone.
We should get into the fact that you are already about this thing.
I am.
Because, okay,
Yeah.
so we need to take that into consideration
Yeah.
before we jump into it. You were really excited that Netflix is doing this with Marvel.
Yes, I was, because you heard all of the hype around this, that they were going to take a different tactic, that it
Yeah.
was going to be grittier, that it was going to be more realistic, it wasn't going to feel like anything else that Marvel has put on screen recently. Definitely does not feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it all fit within the confines and the context of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they reference the Avengers, they reference the Battle of New York and the devastation through New York, and the full season is the origin story of Matt Murdock, which is a wonderful way to treat this material. And also Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who is equally as effective in the role. And
Yeah.
really, it's the head-to-head machinations between these two incredible characters that makes this show so compelling.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the show, is it's not just telling one story, it's telling several different
Yes.
stories,
Yep.
actually. I found that most of the time, I wasn't even with Daredevil himself. I was with other people following their stories and watching those stories unfold, which was very compelling to me. It's just how these stories string together, and sometimes I found when I was watching that I was really into it, I was so involved, I was loving every second of it, and then there would be moments where, well, how did that person know that that happened to that person? And how did this person know where that person was? Like, just a lot of things that didn't really connect.
A little soap opera-y.
Yes.
Yes, and I did feel that Foggy Nelson, Eldon Henson is the actor's name that's playing him, was really well cast visually, but he is very youthful in the show, as is Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock.
Sure.
And there was a gravitas, there was a world wariness about Charlie Cox and his performance that he really carried well. And I felt that Eldon Henson looked the part of
Yeah.
Foggy, and they had a nice dynamic with some of the repartee between Murdock and Nelson, but he didn't really carry the weight. He never really could deliver the drama of what was going on around him as effectively as some of the other characters. And I think that also happened a little bit with Deborah Ann Woll as Karen Page. I felt like her character was thrust into their lives a little too neatly,
Too
a little
quickly.
Yes.
I thought I detected a whiff of virtue in there.
They really forced that relationship. They really forced
Yeah.
the threesome there of people. Like, they were all friends for such a long time, especially near the end when they just had this one big experience together. So
Yeah.
I don't see how the camaraderie could happen so quickly.
Which felt a little artificial because they
Yeah.
took so much time with so many other elements in there. Like the introduction of Scott Glenn as Stick was phenomenal in this thing. Rosario Dawson as Claire, the nurse that's always patching up Daredevil, is amazing.
Sure.
And there's great supporting work in this thing, which I think really elevates the show to a different level as well. Leland Owsley, played by Bob Gunton, has some of the best lines in the whole show. Every time he's on screen, he's so sardonic. He's like, what am I, invisible here? You know, he's like, how do I know? She was speaking Chinese, you know? He was just he's always riffing and saying off-color and self-serving stuff throughout the show. I loved his stuff, and I also liked Wesley, played by Toby Moore.
Very good.
Yeah, I thought he was really strong as Wilson Fisk's yes man, as his...
Yeah, he was his BFF.
Yeah, his totally.
I'm happy that Netflix released it. I think it's too much to binge, though. I feel like you should take this episodically, watch it one day at a time. It was too much.
I'm going for the double binge. What are you giving Daredevil?
Daredevil gets an 8.
It's a 9 from me. Awesome show.